All right, wait for somebody to show up here. We are streaming. Let's see if C shows up. I'll just sit and smile until I see somebody watching. 30 seconds in. I'll cut all this from the beginning. Where's Cease? Just wait a second. Maybe somebody will show up. Otherwise, I'm going to start going. Da-da-da-da-da-da. All right, we got somebody here. Maybe it's Cease, and maybe he's going to, maybe he'll start commenting. You guys, please feel free to use the chat and try to derail me, because that's what makes these funny. This is Vijay Paneerswamy Jr. I provide tech support to the people of India, and I'm giving back by trying to help out Americans. Now, in the last two live streams, I have yes, he says he's here. How about that? Anyway, in the last two live streams, I have built an Intel NUC. Let me show you what one of those looks like. This is what it looks like. I built this one and it was dead. So last night, after building this thing, I ordered a new one from Amazon. Had it delivered in 1 day, and we tried this afternoon to make it work, and it did. So the last step we have is we want to install Windows 10 on this thing. Let me switch my view over here to my work area. This isn't quite as crisp as I want it to. I want to be able to just switch with like a button, but these cameras don't cooperate for some reason. So here's my work area. Here's our working NUC right over here. I'd like to show you the front of this. It's got like a little orange, power button's in orange, indicating it's got power. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this on. I'll turn it on by tapping it. You'll see it turns blue. Now that's what the first one didn't do. It would not turn blue for us and start up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the video capture card. There we go. And oh, you can see it's trying to find something to boot off of. I actually have something to boot off of. Let me switch back to the work camera. I'll show you what I've done here. I have a little Windows 10 installer USB key, and I should probably explain how I made this. I'm not going to make one on the tape for you guys. Let me go to Chrome plus the cam. So what I did is I Googled for download Windows 10 installer, and I found this web page. And what you need here is you need to create Windows 10 installation media. So this is real easy. If you have another Windows machine, you can do this from. I think from a non-Windows machine, this is kind of difficult. They don't let you do it unless you type in your license or something like that. But if you're on a Windows machine, you can download the Windows tool. And the Windows tool, let's click this and see what happens here. It actually starts to, it actually downloads a file called this media creation tool. Well, you run this and it'll have you insert a new flash drive, and then it copies the stuff that you need. And then you can use it to boot up your Windows drive. So here's what I'm going to do. Remember, you see down here I've got the flash drive. I'm going to actually put this in one of the USB ports right now. And then I'm going to switch our view over to video capture. and it says I have to press a key. So I'm going to go ahead and press a key on the keyboard here. I think another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up this keyboard. Of course, you don't see me doing this, but I'm going to put that in front of me here so I can work on it on the main screen in front of the main camera. Let's see here, reboot, and select a key. Yeah, this isn't working too well. I'm going to actually just hit the power button here, and I'm going to restart this this bad boy. And I think it'll boot up into Windows. Since I last saw you guys, I think if you saw the end of the last live stream, you probably saw that I tried to do the screen capture of the Windows installer, and it was a mess. So in the meantime, I have set this up so that it actually looks okay and it's workable, and we can work with this. Okay, so I got a couple of couple of comments here. Let's see here. Cease Beaston says last two he's 1-1. Yeah, that's right. I am 1-1 on this. It was a kind of a disaster, and then this afternoon I got a replacement and made it work. So Herman asks he says if I'm using OBS I can set hotkeys for scenes. Yes, that's true. What I can't do with OBS though, believe it or not, is I've got 3 Logitech cameras, and I can't have more than one of them going at once in a camera view. I have to manually switch the camera in the view, and you know what? It's because I just haven't set this up right. I'll do some work on it this weekend and make it work, but it's a little frustrating right now. Let me go back to my main camera view here, and you can see the device. Actually, this is my work area view. You can see the device being worked on. This is an Intel NUC. It's an i3 with a tall case. And here's another Intel NUC. The one I'm holding in my hand is the one we tried last night. It was DOA. It did not want to start. So after last night's video cast, I got on Amazon. I ordered this guy, 1-day shipping. It was free 1-day shipping. I got it before 11 o'clock this morning. And transplanted on the second video cast, I transplanted the memory and hard disk into it, and it started up just fine. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go and we're going to install Windows on this and complete this out. So we'll hit the video capture here. Windows setup came up. So I'm going to do English. I'm going to do English. I'm going to do US keyboard. And I'm going to hit next. And you know what? If I use the mouse on my main computer and try to hit next, it does not click that button. I have to use the mouse that's associated with the computer. That can be kind of confusing when you're trying to do a video cast with this computer stuff. So now I'm using the mouse, and it says install now. So we're going to do an install now. Setup is starting. You know, one thing I absolutely hate about Microsoft now, they don't use punctuation. So there's like all these sentences, and then there's no period. You don't even know how to say it. Is it setup is starting? Is it a question? Should it be said with an exclamation? Setup is starting. Okay, what's it say here? Activate Windows. If this is the first time you're installing Windows on this PC, you need to enter a valid Windows product key. The product key looks like this. If you're reinstalling Windows, select I don't have a product key. Your copy of Windows will be automatically installed later. So I'm going to do I don't have a product key, and I'm going to get the product key. I'm going to order it when we're in the middle of it with my Windows account. So what would I like here? I would like Windows 10. I don't want Windows 10S. So this Windows 10S thing, this is this new Windows thing they're doing where it does not, you can't install apps on it. You can only install apps from the Windows Store. And if you've seen apps on the Windows Store, it's pretty sparse. So we're not going to do Windows 10S. Windows 10SN, same deal. We're going to do Windows Home. Windows 10 Home for this one. And I'm going to go next because it's going to be for a home user who doesn't need to run VMs and, you know, all that other pro stuff. So that's one we're going to do. I'm going to accept the license terms. And I'm going to hit next. Upgrade, install Windows and keep the file settings and applications. So, yeah, we'll do that. I mean, there's nothing on this disk that we're going to install this on, so this will just be what we're going to do. Oh! The upgrade option is not available. So do I get to back up or not? Well, we have compatibility. Oh, I see. I can use the little arrow here and back up. So let's do that. We're going to do a custom install Windows only. Drive 0. I put in a 500 gig SSD into this thing, an actual SSD SATA 3 drive, not an M2 card. So we're gonna use this. It's not fixed up yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and format this. Actually, I'm gonna select it. Then I think I can format it. Maybe I don't have to format. It's probably already formatted. Let's just let's go next. Okay, so now it's just going to do all its work, and it's going to copy Windows over. There we go. And it's going to get files ready for installation. I should put Windows 10 Mom's Basement. Yes. Yeah, exactly. See, I've come a long way. I mean, you should see my monitor game here. Maybe, let's see here. I'll tell you what. While this is doing this, I'm going to see if I can show you my monitor, because it's pretty impressive. Maybe that's not what I want. Let's do this. Oh yeah. Spin this way. Look at that monitor, Cease. Look at that monitor, Cease. That's impressive. That, my friend, is a 34-inch ultra-wide 1440p. That means that the pixels are really tiny, and it's super cool. This is my glass of Prop 65 cancer warning coffee and non-fat milk. This is my my Rode broadcaster microphone. This is like the coolest mic you can get for doing podcasts. I've got a Zoom H6. If Pete's watching, he's probably jealous. But I've been using it as an audio interface, a USB audio interface, more than a recorder lately. So that my friends is my that's my monitor setup. Let me bring this back down here. And yeah, like that is. Should that go down a little bit? Yeah, that probably should. All right. Well, you can see the perils of trying to do all this with you know, a couple of webcams. Let's go back to video capture, see how this thing's doing. It's still okay. Getting files ready for installation. It's about 74%. Broadcastception. Herman, what are you talking about? Maybe broadcast reception. Maybe I'm just making new contractions. It happens. I invent words. We're kind of watching paint dry here. You can see. You know what I really need is I need Pat O'Brien calling this like the monkey being chased down by the bear. And this little green area, this is the monkey. And the bear will eventually catch the monkey and eat the monkey. That was a great moment, wasn't it, Cease? Of course, you guys are about a minute behind me, so I'll see your comment in about a minute. Files are still ready for installation, 94%. I'm going to edit this down, these 3 live streams, and, you know, make this into a, you know, like a 5-minute how to do it kind of thing with all sorts of transitions and stuff. Oh, when you're pointing your cam at your monitor, I was looking at your broadcasting software preview. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You got to see all my my OBS preview. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at as I'm talking to you guys. So I've got an Elgato And I probably even pronounced that wrong. It looks like Elgato to me. That's what it should be, right? It should be like the cat. It's an Elgato game capture card that I'm using to digitize the signal out of the out of this NUC and onto the screen. Oh, look, Windows needs to restart to continue. It's going to restart, and we'll see where it goes here. Elgato. When you're pointing your camera to your monitors, look in the broadcasting software preview. Yeah. I should show you guys some other things I use for this broadcast. I use this thing called Voicemeeter Banana. It's bananas. It's pretty good. All right, we continue the installation here. This Intel NUC is pretty good. It was about $250 for the i3. I threw in 8 gigs. That's about $92. And I threw in a 500 gig SSD. That would be a SATA drive. I didn't do the M2. I did the SATA. And I don't know, what was that, 140 or something? I have a whole bill of goods that I'll put together with this video as well, so you guys can see what that is. But these should be really simple to assemble, and you know, it's pretty powerful for, you know, a little computer, and doesn't take up a lot of space. There's a lot of good use cases for them, like, you know, your computer in your college dorm, you don't want it to take up space. You want a, you know, like a media computer to throw up YouTube videos and stuff, or other streaming videos on your TV. That's a great way to do it. You need a little computer for your room, you know, and so you can, you know, do some word processing or whatever, and whatever works. See, now I get no signal. Oh, here we go. It's restarting again. I didn't do any updates of the BIOS or do any setup of the BIOS. I think that's probably something you might want to do, but let's just take this thing out of the box and see how it does. The capture card. You got an Elgato 60, captures at 60 frames, 720p. Yeah, I got the HD 60 Pro. For my whole podcasting, video casting, editing situation, I built myself about $2,500 it's a Intel i7. It's in a Corsair Cube mid cube case. It's kind of big. I've got a EV38 GeForce GTX 1080 Ti card. Of course, oh, you know what? I'm clicking this with the wrong mouse again. Always good. Let's click it with the mouse for the computer. So it's a real powerhouse machine. I built it for editing Premiere videos. Turns out you really don't need whatchamacallit. You don't need the video card for that. It's mostly CPU bound. Let's see here. Ted Zachary is my internet. Okay, make sure it's not going to type the key so you guys can't see the key. Do you want to allow your PC? Yeah, sure. Let's. What did I do wrong here? Next. I guess I got it. Okay. Now Windows is going to go scan for updates. It's looking on the internet. I have very fast internet here. 300 megabits down. Typically on my 5 gigahertz network, I'll get about 130, 140. Herman, my computer setup is absolutely amazing. I'm so glad I built it. I did spend a lot of money on it because I don't screw around. Email, phone, sign in with Microsoft. Can I skip this? An offline account. Let's do an offline account here. Sign in with Microsoft instead. I'm going to go no. Who's going to use this PC? So we'll just make this for me, but I'm going to delete this later. My password for this is just going to be lowercase Brad. I'm going to hit next. Confirm my password. Add a hint for your password. I'm going to use the hint. It's going to be Brad. Oh. Can't contain your password. All right. Brad without spaces. Services. Make Cortana your personal assistant. You know, I'm not a big fan of Cortana, believe it or not. And I also like Google Chrome. Location, diagnostics. I'm going to go with no on the relevant ads. No on the voice. No on the tailored experience. Oh yeah, here we go with the Microsoft no punctuation again. Hi, we're getting... See, now check this out. So they got the apostrophe for we're, right? But they can't end the thing in punctuation. This might take several minutes. Don't turn off your PC. So they believe in... They selectively believe in punctuation. This is so annoying to me. I'm just like, who took over Microsoft and took away periods and stuff? It's important. Cortana never used her. Exactly. I should videocast myself changing my oil in my car tomorrow. Absolutely, Beast. I think you could do it just with the YouTube app on your phone. I know you have an iPhone, but I think that works. And it's, you know, it's fun, man. I mean, it'd be kind of cool if you had like that angle, and then, you know, you have the pan, you think it's under the drip hole or the drain, you know, the drain plug, but then you take out the drain plug and the oil drips like 4 inches over because there's so much of it, and it misses the pan and goes all over the concrete. That's very funny stuff. That has potential for all sorts of disaster. I'd watch. I mean, text me, right? Because I might not see it on Twitter, so text me. I'll watch. I'll probably, you know, put nasty comments in there as you're doing it. All right. So when we launch this thing, we get Edge, and you know what? I'm using the wrong mouse again, so I'm going to go get the right mouse. First thing I like to do is download Chrome. So I'm going to Bing search for that. You know, Microsoft, they're like, no, you don't want to use it. You don't want to do it. I'm like, yeah, I want to do it. So we're going to go download Chrome. Hi, I'm Cortana. No, I'm not ready. I don't want anything to do with you. Let's accept and install. What do you want to do with this? I want to run it. Running a security scan. This is the last time I'll use the Edge browser. Okay, we're just waiting for this to happen. All right, do I want to let it do this? Yes. By the way, I'm running in 720p right now. When this is actually hooked up to a real monitor, it'll be 1080p, but this was the setting that worked well for video casting for you guys. So that's why there's not a lot of screen space going on here. But it's okay for us to do like an install and, you know, just some initial setup. And then when you install it unlicensed like this and you don't tie it to a Microsoft account, I think you get like, it's either 3 days or a week to install a license. So I'm going to install a license later so you guys don't see all the particulars of how I do it. Let's see here. I would like to make Chrome my default browser, so I'm going to go here to Settings. Then there's this thing called Apps. And there's Default Apps. And if I scroll down a little bit, my web browser, I'll click that, and then I'll choose Google Chrome. It's going to tell me, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. I'm going to go, yeah, switch anyway. Sorry, Microsoft. And then I'm going to close that up. I'm going to, I got Chrome here. I'm going to actually pin this to the, I right-clicked, then I can pin this to the taskbar, and then I can drag this over, and I'm going to unpin Edge from the taskbar. Sorry, Edge. And then Edge is gone, and no more Edge. So yeah, that's the first bit of setup. This install worked great. This NUC's going to work great. It's going to make somebody very, very happy because they're upgrading from an old Dell, probably like 7 years old. Yeah, it's going to be a good setup. So any last, let's see here, any last questions? Any last comments? Beast expected me to like Cortana. No, not at all. I like my my Android, whatever girlfriend that is. She does a good job. She gets me where I need to go. Extra points if you get oil on the camera lens. Absolutely. Herman, Beast, listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about here. And then Herman also tells me that Elgato has a tough time with anything higher than 720. So I actually, a couple of these streams ago, I think I streamed a Raspberry Pi, and I got 1080 on it, and it all hooked up just fine. So I think it might just be kind of a mismatch between the, it might have been a mismatch between the card and then, you know, what this NUC was putting out, that it just didn't sync up right. If you watch the stream I did this afternoon, you can see what the screen looked like. It was just kind of garbagey because of that. But yeah, I figured this out. So 720 is fine for doing an installation video and stuff. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for sticking with us. There's 3 of you watching. There's 2 of you commenting. This was really neat to do. And get my work camera area here. Yeah, this little device here is going to make somebody really, really happy. And it's got i3, 7th generation i3. It's got 8 gigs of RAM, and it's got a 500 gig SSD in it. So it should be a pretty nice system. Thank you guys. Actually, I'll go back here and I'll sign off. So again, this has been Vijay Panir Swami Jr., tech support to the people of India, and I'm giving back to America, and I want to wish y'all happy holidays, Merry Christmas, you know, whatever you celebrate, and have a good time. Thank you for watching. Let's see, we're going to stop streaming.